This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is the Microsoft Kin 1 and Kin 2. These are going to be available on Verizon shortly. You can pre-order them now, and they'll be in stores on May 13th, 2010. And these are Microsoft's new platform for younger folks. This is not supposed to be Windows Phone 7. This is supposed to be something more for the youth crowd and more playful. So you can see they both have styling reminiscent of the Palm Pre, curvy, stone-like things. Camera lens on the back. Kind of rough surface back here. Makes it a little bit grippy, which is a good thing because these guys are very curvy and they're kind of hard to keep in your hand. And they both have pretty much identical buttons, though, slightly different places. The biggest button on both of them is this, and that is the camera launcher button. You've got your 3.5mm stereo jack on both of the phones here. This is the power button. This is the power button on this one. Volume buttons are here on the Kin 2, and they are on the shoulder of the Kin 1. And then you've got your USB port for Zune style syncing and side loading, because this is indeed a Zune phone. Take a look at the Kin 2 first. They both have slide out keyboards here. And a totally new kind of user interface. This is not like anything you've used before. That is definitely for sure. And the user interface is great for those who like to learn new things. If you just want to pick up a phone that you instantly get, the Palm Pre is probably more your kind of phone. With this guy, you're going to have to explore more to figure out how to use things, but it's kind of fun to do that. Here you have your favorites. This isn't just your basic caller ID here. This is kind of a long list of your favorites, your most important person you could put in the biggest position, the top position if you wanted to. And it pulls photos from your contacts. This syncs to Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, and to Windows Live services, so you can get your contacts through those means. You see the plus over here, it means you can just tap there and add somebody from your contacts list, which is pretty easy to do. The contacts list, by the way, the fields are very full-featured. It's definitely a Microsoft-like product with lots of fields for addresses, contact information, IM, all that kind of thing. If you want to get back one step, you press that button. If you press and hold it, it'll take you to your main home screen. Now this here is the social networking screen. It's a very busy screen, obviously, and we're going to take a look at that in portrait modes. I think a little bit easier to see. Right now I'm syncing this to Twitter and Facebook both, so they're mishmashed together. You really can't tell which is which. And you can specify your favorites, folks, so you see messages particularly from those people. Good if you happen to have 1,000 Facebook friends, for example. So this is a long scrolling list. Not terribly ordered. If you tap on one, you see that. You can comment on it. If there's a link, you can tap on it to follow the link. If you prefer a more orderly view of things, you can go through your feed reader, which isn't just an RSS feed reader, though it is that. We had some problems with it actually not working with a couple of sites' RSS feeds, including our own, but that's yet another story here. It's also a timeline for any social networking that you're using, which again is Facebook, MySpace, and Twitter currently. So we're going to take a look at Facebook, or actually let's take a look at Twitter. And here's a linear view. And again, you can tap on any single entry to get the same interface where you can make a comment or open any link in a browser. The experience is not so different in a way from MotoBlur, found on the Motorola Devour, the Motorola Click XT, and the Motorola Click. It depends which interface you like better. This is certainly novel. It's a beautiful piece of hardware, particularly the screen. This is a 320 by 480 pixel capacitive touch screen, and it's obviously very bright, very vivid. The Kin's primary purpose in life is social networking rather than media consumption or doing anything business related, because again it targets the youth market. There is no Office reader here, there's no PDF reader. In fact, there's not even a way to add applications right now, which is a big hurt compared to the iPhone and Android, and even, gosh, Windows Mobile, you can add applications to that. So what you see here is what you get at the moment. You've got the messaging application for text and MMS messages, the phone dialer, As you can see, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to load things as a basic phone dialer, and you can swipe to see your call history sideways, which is another point with this phone. If you can't find where something is that you think is a basic feature, try swiping sideways, especially if you see a little bar up here, and that indicates that, look, there's more stuff. There's a call log, and there's a way you access voicemail. Here you've got the email application for Pop and IMAP email, the web browser, which we'll get to in a minute. Music is the Zune store. We'll get to that too. The camera, which is actually not the camera. It initially takes you to photos that you've taken. This has an 8 megapixel camera. The Kin 1 has a 5 megapixel camera. Both have autofocus, and they take pretty good pictures. They're not absolutely amazing pictures, but by American camera phone standards, they're pretty good. If you want to see a picture, you just tap on it. The phone does have an accelerometer that works in some but not all applications. And you can see you can swipe easily between photos. You can zoom. Pinch zooming is supported on the phone. It's a pretty nice photo viewer. And you can do things like share. You see the spot here. That's one of the big things with the Kin. The spot is something that you drag stuff to if you want to share it. And by sharing, we mean text, MMS, or through social networking uploads. So if you want to drag something into the spot, you press and hold it until the spot goes large. Drop it in there. Now it's in the spot. When there is something in the spot, the center is black. You can tap on it to see what's there, and you can either send it or upload it. If I want to upload it, it's giving me the option of uploading to Facebook. We've got settings here, pretty basic. You can control your wireless radios. This has Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and Verizon EVDO Rev A. You have phone settings here, which are basic phone settings for your ringer, alert sounds, voicemail number, and whether you want to automatically download MMS, roaming control. You can choose themes. If you change the theme, which is just a set of colors for the background, you actually have to restart the phone. You can choose your ringtones here. The ringtones are not that exciting. They have very romantic names. And though I have Zune content on here, it's not picking that up, so it looks like you can only use the ringtones that are pre-installed on the phone. When you first turn on the phone, it tells you to enter your Windows Live account information, which could be anything from your Zune Pass account, if you have that, Xbox Live account, Windows Messenger, or Hotmail. Those all work. If you don't have one, you can create one. We've got the alarm clock here. You can set a new alarm. One thing I like is that the time is always down here, and if you tap on it, you get full status. Your signal strength, the time, the ringer, and the battery. We have search here, which can search the phone, or it can do a Bing search for the internet or a Bing location search. By default, it opens up into the local phone search. You swipe sideways, there's your Bing search of the web, and then that's the Bing location search. This is not as full featured as what you see on Windows mobile phones with Bing services, or Windows Live Search, unfortunately, or some Verizon feature phones that have heavily integrated Bing services. This just takes you to the mobile Bing site, which is a lot less useful and a lot less fancy. And you can pin web pages down here, so we've pinned our own web page. So we're going to take a look at the web browser now, which is very similar to the Zune HD's web browser, which is a great web browser for a music player, but it's not as impressive here on a phone that tries to compete with very high-end feature phones or smartphones. In fact, while our page is loading, you'll see that page load times, and this is even cached, it should be quicker than this, page load times are not that fast over Verizon EVDO, which we have a great Verizon network here. It's not an issue with the network, it's just a bit slow to render pages, despite the Tegra processor. This has the same processor that's in the Zune HD. In fact, so does the Kin 1. So you get the zoomed out overview here, and you can pinch zoom. It twitches a bit sometimes when you do that. And you can pan around. I find that often to get readable text, though, you have to zoom out so wide that the text no longer fits in a page if you're reading an article. Our short blurbs here are fine because they are set to a narrow column. But there's no kind of auto best fit once you zoom the text in like you would see on the iPhone or the WebKit-based browser on Android phones. There is no Flash support here. There's not even mobile YouTube support, which is unfortunate, but I have a feeling that Microsoft is going to add it.